Hi friends, welcome to the NPTEL course Strategy and Technology, a practical primer. We are in week 11 with the theme of technology and business. In this lecture, the 52nd in the series, we discuss the topic of business models. Technologies of the last decade have enhanced global connectivity, improved individual and team productivity, and opened up new vistas in healthcare. The technologies that are now coming in are transformational in their impact. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, autonomous driving, reusable spaceships, Internet of Things, and immunotherapy of humans are just a few examples. However, we require patience and persistence. We need to understand how disruptive technologies can redefine businesses completely. Big firms with investable resources must devote a part of the competitive strategy to integrate potentially disruptive technologies. Business strategy, business model, and technology strategy must be planned and integrated so that the best possible impact is derived from the technology. Facsimile or fax is no longer a fancied method of document transmission because scanning and emailing have emerged as a cheaper and more reliable option. Cloud is a one-stop solution for all our electronic storage and retrieval needs. It provides seamless portability across devices. Cellular phones became smartphones. Speakers have been reinvented as connected devices. Television has become a great new entertainment and educational medium. Today, micro LED has come into play in such a manner that one doesn't have to shoot movies in real world. You can have huge walls of micro LED screens, and with some sets you can simulate in a very graphic and realistic manner what would happen in the actual field. So those are the kinds of transformational changes that are occurring. From just a desktop computer that used to exist 2 decades ago, we now have multiple options of laptop, netbook, notebook, ultrabook, tablet, and phablet. We have already established the importance of technology in competitive strategy. We talked about convergence, and we said that a smartphone can even be a tablet and computer. It could be twofold now, it could be threefold, and it could be multifold at some point of time. Robotics is not confined only for unsafe and hazardous actions. It will do surgery, it will be part of human lives at homes and in offices. It will be catering to logistics and healthcare needs. Newer domains such as nanotechnology, stem cells, genomics, epigenetics are supporting revolutionary options in healthcare. Artificial intelligence is going to mimic the human brain and let machines do a lot of thinking on behalf of the individuals. This is a profound impact of technology, and that too in unforeseen ways. Let us postulate some thoughtful technologies that could make further positive and in many ways transformational impact on our lives. 5 years ago looks a very long period in the emergence and practical realization of new disruptive technologies. If one were to forecast 5 years ago, what could be the breakthrough technologies for 2015? Focus would have been on hybrid vehicles, electric vehicles, 3D televisions and movies, fitness bands, 3D printing, tablets, solar energy, robotic surgery, voice recognition, nanotechnology and genetics, to name a few. In respect of smart devices, the emphasis would have been on enhancing the power and performance of smart devices. In respect of communication and computing, 4G, VoLT, and cloud would have been spoken about as hot trends. Whatever has been thought about has already happened. They have become commercial products, and successive improvements are being planned in each. Experimental technologies like solar are experiencing significant commercialization possibilities. Not only that, developments like satellite communications, immunotherapy for cancer, use of DNA for data storage have also come up. These have been surprising developments, positively. Future technological imperatives are in terms of improving the life on this planet on one hand and seeking extraterrestrial resources and life on the other. We have had our past successes, but we also have current challenges. The current challenges are emerging to be quite different and difficult. The period was notable for utilizing technology for enhancing the convenience of life and longevity of life. Technological breakthroughs have made life simpler, in some cases of course a little more complex, but everything has moved towards improving the quality of life. Particularly in the biologic space, we have seen new medicines coming up and solving some of the vexatious diseases that the mankind has been facing. But today's situation is that we have climate change. The rainfall patterns have changed. The hot-cold temperature patterns have changed. The ocean levels are predicted to change. So we require climate change to be moderated. We also require the resources to be conserved. We want to go clean and green. We want, in fact, circular economy. Environment, social, and governance are the new drivers of forward-looking investments in companies these days. And to be able to meet this, we have to look at what should be there 5 years hence. Certain emerging technologies are likely to change the world in its basics and influence how life is configured. Net carbon neutrality will be one big driver of change. From steel plants to beverage plants, the emphasis is on achieving net carbon neutrality. Every product and process is expected to be clean and green. When Switch Mobility is setting up its plant, it is not talking about just zero emission electric cars to be produced there. The company is talking about the entire gamut of sourcing, producing and delivering the product. This entire operation will be net carbon neutral. That's what the Executive Vice Chairman and CEO of Switch Mobility is committing himself to. So we need to be clean and green not only on the product but also the process. And we are also going beyond planetary boundaries. Satellite communication for cell phones is likely to be from space at some point of time in future. Tourism will move space-wise. Hyperloop, global renewables, autonomous vehicles, bioengineering are drivers beyond the usual planetary boundaries. People will look for new resources, particularly rare materials from other planets. Massive desalination may be attempted, and that may solve the water issue. Sorek of Israel has proved that it is possible. So entirely different water strategy will be required in future. So let's look at 6 futuristic technologies which could have strong impact on the competitive strategy. The first one is artificial intelligence. It started probably 60 years ago, but has now reached a level of maturity to become a new wave. From millions of codes that are required to help a supercomputer solve a specific problem, for example IBM Watson, artificial intelligence now seeks to mimic and represent biological neural networks. We are not thinking about coding, that is a series of steps. We are thinking of mimicking our own biological neural network. Machine intelligence is going to take over how the companies will have machines that code themselves. Deep learning, machine learning and machine intelligence are attempting to develop machines which are not limited to robots, which will all learn by themselves rather than from the programmer codes. Biorobotics, modern artificial intelligence, electromechanical advancements, biomedical engineering and robotics are merging to make human intelligence more powerful and human life more enduring. There could be several checks and counter checks by which information is processed and instilled as either genuine information or fake information. We have talked about those developments in another lecture earlier. There could be robotic functional experts in all the domains. They will recognize and solve problems for us. Today's subject matter experts could be replaced by such humanistic robots. Between the radiologist reading the advanced CT scan and the doctor reading the CT scan, we will have in between a robotic reading, which is going to be a great aid for the doctors and the radiologists to make their judgments properly. Artificial intelligence, therefore, will be a major disruptor, and robotic evolution itself will have 2 dimensions. We can plot robotics on 2 dimensions. One dimension of breadth and another dimension of depth. If we have same breadth and the same depth, we will get only past type of robots. We have higher breadth but same depth, we will get the current robots. Again, we have the same breadth but higher depth, the current robots are of that classification. But the future bio-robots will have higher breadth as well as higher depth. It will lead to large-scale automation in software programming, but it also requires human talent to be integrated in the way robots think and act. Biorobots will not be just substitutional, they will add depth and breadth to the work typically carried out by the humans. Increasing availability of robots to perform a range of household and office routines would mean that people who used to perform such tasks could look forward to performing other involved tasks that require more agile and intricate human approach. Office and factory supervision, facility management, clinical nursing, and home care would see a big role for artificial machine intelligence. Competitive strategy of organizations itself could be drawn up by strategic bots. Autonomous driving. It has been an experimental wish, now it is realized, although it has not come into mass commercial scale. Advances in sensor and navigation technologies, as well as decision-making processes by the computers, is the key requirement for making an autonomous vehicle a commercial reality. New age firms such as Tesla, Google, and Apple, and current automobile leaders such as Toyota, Mercedes, and GM are all into the self-driving arena. In future, you may get more companies getting into that. At Las Vegas CES 2022, Sony made a statement that it has all the technologies that are required for putting in place an electric automobile, and it would seriously consider that possibility. There are variants in the level of self-driving with the aim of making driving completely independent of humans and error-proof. The question here is not whether Apple or Google would be the new Toyota. The challenge here is to make driving completely safe and totally productive to people. With not all the automobile makers developing autopilots or variants, there could be many opportunities for boutique developers such as Cruise Automation or Tata Elxsi to develop autonomy technologies that could be acquired by other automakers. Self-driving cars could make people highly productive and roads safer. In fact, it could change the current system of own transportation into a new paradigm of shared mobility. The 2 to 4 hours that we spend routinely in automobile driving could now be utilized for work, rest, or sleep. The carrying capacity of vehicle could go up by one person compared to a chauffeur-driven car. Long distance drives can be easy and commonplace. There could be continuous communication by the car with the ecosystem. The safety record could significantly improve. Elderly people and even driving naive persons will be able to use cars for their personal transportation. The ride-hailing businesses such as Uber, Lyft, and Ola would prefer self-driving cars. All this in turn could threaten employment of drivers in emerging markets. Questions will still remain how self-driving vehicles would function in calamities or unexpected surge traffic and road damages, because those are the ones which cannot be predicted by any level of computer programming. In total, there would be a more productive and safer drive, but there is a view that a complete elimination of human intervention at the wheel will not be practical, and it will lead to still available so that unforeseen events can be taken care of. The other one is virtual reality and augmented reality. Boutique firms specializing in VR and AR technologies have become the favorite acquisition targets for technology and mobile companies on one hand, and media and entertainment companies on the other. Virtual reality, as we may know, is an immersive media experience that is simulated by computer technologies to make a user feel a part of a physical environment, real or artificial, but be able to interact with it. Augmented reality represents an enhancement of the physical world with computer-based sensory inputs. In a way, AR enhances reality, while VR helps one forget the reality. Together, they open a world of experiences far beyond reality or imagination. Boutique firms specializing in AR and VR technologies will become favorite acquisition targets for technology, mobile, media, and entertainment companies. As VR/AR devices become miniaturized from the current helmet-like form factors and integrated with mainstream viewing devices, their usage could become quite commonplace. In fact, AR and VR are these important drivers for the new universe of Metaverse. They would change the direction, content, and experience of communication-dependent and communication-oriented activities from image viewing to immersive experiencing. Almost every cell phone maker has tied up with a VR extension. They will lead to a clear division of smart devices into gaming and media devices on one hand, and communication and computing devices on the other. So there will be huge competitive advantage in entertainment, media, education and healthcare. Certain fields of education which require costly physical exploration will be completely transformed by VR/AR. Complex biological diagnostics and surgeries will be easy to track and experience, and easy to tutor as well. Combined with technologies that could develop highly detailed 3D internal images of human body, each cell and each organ can be studied on a real-time basis for their functioning and malfunctioning and response to treatments. This would not only support minimally invasive surgical methods, but also help doctors and technologists observe the physical impact of surgeries and medicines both online and offline. Internet of Things. Internet connected computers and phones ushered in a great revolution in the fields of connectivity and computing. Without internet, work from home, remote working would just not have been possible. Internet connected people globally, and with 5G, the potential is only going to increase. But Internet of Things has an even greater potential. It will connect everyone and everything globally, device to device, device to people, people and devices to places, and vice versa. The world may have 8 billion population, but the devices of various types which will be connected by Internet of Things will be 34 billion. We can see the potential that exists in terms of Internet of Things. Omron has been a big pioneer in working on Internet of Things for medical fitness. Wearable technologies, fitness trackers, contact lenses, body health monitors will be integrated seamlessly into IoT with doctors, and the doctors will be able to maintain a close connection with their patients. Omron has conceptualized and executed a paradigm called Vital Sight. The way it does it is fourfold. It works with existing workflow. EMR prompts clinician. Clinician enrolls patient. Clinician determines devices that need to be used, baby monitor, scale, etc. No device costs or on-site setup because clinician sends orders to Vital Sight. Vital Sight pairs applicable devices to Data Hub. The devices sent directly to patient's home, and patient sets up devices at home. Pre-analyzed data enters the EMR. Data is analyzed real-time in the cloud. Normal readings are sent to patient's chart. Abnormal readings trigger EMR alert. Customized alert parameters become available to guide the patient as well as the clinician. And there will be positive cash flow from day one because the very first interaction would generate revenues, and it would be seamless and productive because a fully automated claim submission process also would be in place. The next revolution, therefore, is going to come through Internet of Things on a variety of dimensions. Google Fiber provides internet speed of up to 1 gigabit per second, 100 times faster than regular Wi-Fi. Li-Fi uses visible light communication to transmit data at speeds up to 224 gigabits per second, more than 200 times faster than Google Fiber. Google Balloon project attempts to connect remote areas with cost effectiveness. Virgin Satellite Communication attempts global connectivity. Agricultural drones can be integrated with IoT for precision farming. Drones fully connected with the respective ecosystems can become focused delivery systems. IoT will generate unbelievable massive amounts of data, and they would need to be integrated with data analytics for design and operational optimization. IoT will also be the backbone of smart city developments across the world. IoT would help take digital banking to the next level. Zero waste. This is our greatest challenge. Typical homes and offices bask in sunlight. They absorb as well as reflect plentiful energy. Various devices in plants, homes and offices generate significant heat. This all can be captured and recycled. You can have smart living spaces made full of energy absorbing and channeling materials as well as programmable energy sinks. We can improve the energy efficiency in buildings, reduce energy consumption and CO2 emissions. We can create jobs, make energy more affordable for households. We can have steel sheet replaced by solar panels for automobiles because we can absorb the heat of the solar system through the panels. And the air conditioning systems within the automobiles can be well served by the solar systems, and also the energy they generate can be put as input for the solar energy system. If the steel panels were to be solar panels, the entire energy would be absorbed to be recycled for operation of the various automobile systems. The self-powering systems, the natural powering principles are the ones which are going to drive the zero waste movement in the future. They can be applied to a wide range of heat producing or heat exposed devices in various facilities and at homes. And this must be accompanied by retrofitting old buildings with newer energy and recovery standards. Purification of raw water by reverse osmosis and membrane technologies has grown in popularity. However, as much or more water is wasted in the purification process. We need cost-effective particulate filters and terminal sterilizers for auto treatment of the rejected water so that there could be significant recycling of the water. The technology as available now separates the good and bad water, and the wastage of water is huge. For every 100 liters of raw water, as much as 70 liters may be rejected. In a water-starved, resource-scarce nation as India, this huge level of water rejection is unfriendly to the environment. We also cannot use the recycled water for groundwater recharging or for gardening because of the high level of contaminants. Any device that restores the rejected water at least to two levels, one water harvesting into the ground and the other for use of non-critical uses like gardening, would be a great boon for environmental conservation. Another extremely important consideration is to avoid waste at the source itself. If the waste cannot be avoided, for example in kitchen work, technology must be deployed to recycle waste for useful purposes. Manure for plants can be developed out of such kitchen waste. The entire solid and liquid waste from each household must be treated at the household stage itself. Technology must be deployed to develop specialty chemicals that can convert waste into clean substances at source itself. A zero waste paradigm must be holistic and cover the waste creators as well as waste converters. And finally, have the recycled clean waste users. Waste management for zero waste needs to be a total science and technology paradigm under the Clean and Green Planet initiative. Then we have biotechnologies. We have discussed biosimilars, biologic drugs previously. Medical technologies are the most important facet of disruptive technologies. They can improve our life tremendously. COVID-19 pandemic and the fast-track successes in vaccine development have underlined the importance of biopharmaceutical development. We can harvest stem cells and we can use regenerative medicine to grow our organs. Genetics can be analyzed online and individuals' predisposition for certain diseases can be forecast. Gene editing, as I have already discussed, through CRISPR will be helpful in eliminating diseases even if a person is born with the diseases. So COVID-19 had mRNA technology as a magic bullet. Several COVID vaccines, even by the existing routes, became very successful. We have had antibody cocktails coming up as biotechnology products. When we are doing this, the ethical concerns also emerge. We need to take care of all of these things in a foolproof manner because no biotechnology drug is exactly the same as the other biotechnology drug. We need to prove in clinical trials that each is the same as the other and substitutability is enabled. Gene editing is still an abstract science. We know scientifically what is being done, but for the individuals to have confidence, we should be able to translate genomics and gene editing as easily as we are able to translate the existing pharmaceutical sciences for the understanding of the patients and the broader society. Immune system engineering is also another area. It has great potential for pharmaceutical industry. Former President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, at 91, had a remission from brain cancer, which spread even to liver. The reason for remission is a novel drug, pembrolizumab, a novel drug sold under the brand name Keytruda, one of the first drugs in the novel immunotherapy class. Immune system engineering is emerging to be another area of great potential. Several companies, including Big Pharma, are attempting to stimulate the body immune system, which is the nature's best weapon against disease, to fight and eradicate a host of diseases like cancer, arthritis, HIV, and multiple sclerosis. We don't have a treatment for HIV. The virus can be contained, but the virus cannot be eliminated. Genetic engineering of immune cells would be a great frontier of research for saving lives and enhancing lifespan as well. However, all of these things have clinical trial issues. It is impossible to test a new drug on the entire population. So necessarily we have to choose a section of the population and conduct double-blinded trials. All these things are still works in progress as far as the products are concerned, but the clinical trial formats and the analytical patterns could be improved in the meanwhile so that the drugs can be accepted into the mainstream with greater certainty. There are always unknown factors which are not understood, and as science progresses, as applications get used, we will understand more of all of these drugs. So the interrelationship between various domains and the current situation as well as the current future situation is described in this table. There is a transformational move that is happening. As far as IT domain is concerned, we had supercomputers and chatbots in the recent past. We are having artificial intelligence and machine learning. Automobiles, from hybrid drives, we are going into autonomous driving. 3D visualization will be replaced by virtual reality and augmented reality. Internet of computers is becoming Internet of Things. Reuse, recharge, recycle is becoming zero waste. Genetic diagnosis and drug targeting is becoming genetic editing and immunotherapy. And we have examples of Toyota Price Hybrid, Toyota Electric Vehicle, and Toyota Fuel Cell Vehicle. All are existing products, visible and usable. One of the important features of the current technology paradigm is that several diverse technologies are being simultaneously explored for development and commercialization. For example, even as electric vehicles are being developed to the greater extent, we are having new zero-emission vehicles such as hydrogen fuel cell vehicles and also flex fuel vehicles. The interrelation of technology with business evolves over time. Several technologies that are promising to be disruptive technologies have been in development for several years, if not decades. That has been the case with artificial intelligence. As I said in the earlier slide, many of the today's automobile components have been discovered or invented decades ago. Even electric vehicle got invented decades ago. But only now the ecosystem is developing in a manner such that the disruptive technologies of the past can be further refined and brought in with a total ecosystem ready to support. The first demonstration of immunotherapy to eradicate cancer has occurred in 1893, and we are using the first drug of immunotherapy only recently. Some designs and developments which appeared to be breakthroughs in the past when they were introduced first became obsolete quickly, because new developments which overtook those breakthroughs happened. For a technology to be truly disruptive, it needs to be not only novel in its class, but also require novelty in adjunct areas. IoT, for example, depends on massive hikes in internet speeds as well as a total coverage across the nation. IoT cannot be an island of operation. Health-specific wearable makers have to time their big leaps with health-specific IoT as well as labs on chips. The real-time potential then becomes available for both patients and doctors. Technologists developing technology strategies and strategists developing competitive strategies must recognize this interrelationship of strategy and technology. Then only sustainable competitive advantage would accrue to the firm. The interrelationship can be seen based on certain examples. Astute strategists should not remain bystanders to exciting technical developments. They should instead explored the distant horizons all the time. What was considered the rarest of privilege could be available for mass market sooner than later. As we are aware, rockets have helped space missions place satellites in orbits of Earth, Moon, and other planets. Rockets, however, are highly expensive and can only be used once. Reusable rockets therefore offer a great way for ordinary humans who are not space scientists to travel to space and even set up life in space, if not in planets. Reusable rockets could also be an easy way to cross continents. So SpaceX, United Launch Alliance come into this space, including of course Blue Origin. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin and United Launch Alliance are changing the space travel game by developing cost-effective rockets which can be precisely navigated to take off in rocket style and land in aeroplane style. Airlines would need to evaluate whether they should be bystanders to Amazons of the world exploring space travel, or the airlines themselves should be co-pioneers in that. Here is the dilemma. No airliner is involved in these pioneering developments of space travel for civilians. But one day that could become reality, and those pioneers who are making that reality feasible, plausible, are going to win this game. This is a strategic dilemma. It is an enigma. Those who are in this business of travel are not attempting this, but those who are not in this business of travel are pioneering. So what scores? The pioneering spirit scores compared to anything else. So unless you change your business strategy along with the technological shift that is possible, you would not be making full utilization or full generation of value. As I said, big firms with investable resources must devote a part of the competitive strategy to potentially disruptive technologies to usher in such astounding transformations. They should integrate business strategy, business model, and technology model to be able to develop these kinds of transformational events. We have in this lecture discussed concepts such as artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality. It is apt for us to discuss Metaverse as an overarching theme in this part of the lecture. The progress of connectivity has been amazing so far. Internet and telecommunication technologies have driven that, along with various hardware and software enhancements. We had the traditional architecture of desktop being enhanced with web and now made universal with the mobile. Our communication has moved from text to photos to video. And what is the next frontier? The next frontier promises to be the embodied internet, which will provide an immersive experience, and that's called Metaverse. The defining quality of the Metaverse will be a feeling of presence, like you are right there with another person or in another place. Feeling truly present with another person is the ultimate dream of social technology. Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. Metaverse is a new movement. It refers to a virtual reality space in which users can interact with a computer-generated environment and other users. It has shot into prominence with the announcement by Facebook of its adoption as its future platform. It has three purposes and three dimensions. The Metaverse will accelerate and deepen interactions fundamentally. Virtual reality-based wearables will take users to an alternate virtual world from the confines of their homes or offices. Metaverse will enhance productivity immensely. It frees up users from long commuting times, enables healthy surroundings, and provides adaptive flexibility. It will offer timing to suit every individual. Everything stays timely and perpetual in the exciting and adaptive virtual world. Through Metaverse, we can handle everything from enterprise activities to entertainment activities, and these will all witness enormous transformation with Metaverse. Metaverse, however, has not been discovered by Facebook. It is not a concept that was pioneered by either Facebook or its founder Mark Zuckerberg. It dates back to 1992. The origins as a concept are as follows. The term Metaverse was coined by author Neil Stephenson in his 1992 novel Snow Crash. The book is set in a dystopian future, dystopian meaning imaginary and somewhat contrary to utopia. where people spend much of their time in a virtual world called the Metaverse. The idea of the Metaverse is also present in many other science fiction novels. Ernst Cline's Ready Player One is a prime example. Metaverse, however, became the new vision of the internet that was brought further into the limelight when Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg recently announced that Facebook and all its related apps will now be known as Meta. Facebook sought to assume a leadership position by rebranding all of Facebook apps and technologies under this new company brand Meta. In a way, it has moved ahead of others to appropriate for itself Metaverse as its future. At the Connect 2021, which was held on October 28, 2021, Mark, founder and CEO of Facebook, said this, among other things. Meta builds technologies that help people connect, find communities, and grow businesses. When Facebook launched in 2004, it changed the way people connect. Apps like Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp further empowered billions around the world. Now, Meta is moving beyond 2D screens toward immersive experiences like augmented and virtual reality to help build the next evolution in social technology. Whether everything will be Meta or Meta will supplement the 2D as an additional business technology remains to be seen. When Zuckerberg shared his vision of the metaverse, he gave a timeline of 5 to 10 years for the technologies he introduced to become mainstream. This includes integration and empowerment of all his platforms with AI and VR/AR. These are the platforms which Meta possesses now: Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, especially important because of virtual reality and artificial reality, Workplace, Portal, Novi. Other companies, particularly technology companies, are not going to sit on the bylines. Microsoft has rolled out Mesh for Microsoft Teams in 2022. Mesh is an online platform that uses holograms and mixed reality to create virtual spaces. Teams with Mesh helps build remote work environments for deep connectedness. Facebook, however, is planning to pour millions of dollars into development of Metaverse because it believes that social technology through Metaverse will be both limitless and immersive. The tech giant has invested $50 million into its Metaverse projects. These are dubbed XR programs and research fund. At Connect 2021, it also announced new tools to help people build the Metaverse, including Presence Platform. Announced a $150 million investment in immersive learning to train the next generation of content creators. Presence Platform, Quest 2, and new mixed reality experiences have to pan out the way Facebook envisioned for Facebook to be really rebranded in reality as Meta in terms of the experiences. Meta expects to work with scores of partners to make its vision practical apart from recruiting new talent for itself. Metaverse requires transformative technological developments in a number of fields to fulfill the vision. I have clustered them under 3 heads: Internet of Things, Network, and Chips, blockchains, cryptos, and tokens, and third, virtualization engines. Metaverse has to build on and integrate everything digital developed till date to develop the new virtual world. Metaverse may come with several challenges as well. It may not offer the panacea which it promises to offer. Reputation and identity. True identification of the persons and events will be challenging in a virtual world. Therefore, the integrity and legitimacy will also be under question. Data and security are already big concerns in the current social milieu. Metaverse will only accelerate and enhance the concerns related to data privacy and security, including personal privacy and security. Currency and payments could be another challenging area. Cryptos are being promoted for Metaverse transactions. Several jurisdictions are yet to take a view on cryptos, and how cryptos will be regulated in future is also not clear. So the intended marketplace connectivity may not be as smooth and seamless as is envisaged. Quite apart from that, the safety and legality of cryptos itself could be in doubt. There will also be concerns relating to law and jurisdiction. Because Metaverse will be one universal world which is connected digitally, the transactional safety and security could be subject to several laws and several jurisdictions. Legal accountability and protection will arise as one of the key matters to be ironed out between different jurisdictions. The ownership and property matters could also pose challenges. There could be multiplicity of ownership rights, and transferability of property may not be as easy as it is in the real world. It also raises the fundamental competitive strategy question. Is it all going to be competition, or it is competition with collaboration? Will early movers and deep pocket companies dominate metaverse, or there will be a potential digital divide on many plans, or will there be a real utopia as envisaged by the promoters of metaverse? Some of the ills of current social media could increase in the metaverse, ranging from distraction to dominance. One hopes it will not be the case though. Meta is actually a Greek word meaning beyond. So, beyond meta as hype, we have to look at things being implemented with equity, responsibility, and accountability. If that happens, meta can lead to fully immersive experiences in a timeless virtual world. It can provide universal connectivity to designers' communities, and the information itself could be vast and limitless and creativity driven. Everyone who participates in metaverse as envisaged may see, feel, and experience like never before, with the envelope pushed far beyond what one can imagine at this stage. These developments on metaverse have to be both technical and strategic. The real life utility needs to be established clearly and with economics to support. The first impact of metaverse has been positive. An increase in the metaverse experience is on the cards. The full-blown metaverse may be decades away, but there will surely be an increase in the availability of AR and VR media formats, and there will be an introduction of more immersive technologies. Integrated work home. It should be flexible and adaptive in metaverse, and the early developments indicate that it is possible. Online shopping must be experiential and limitless. This could be one of the areas, if not exact actual transactions, choices, selections, and reconfiguration of homes is likely to be possible in a different fashion with online shopping under metaverse. And elevated entertainment is certainly a feasibility. Gaming has already gone to a metaverse level. New metaverse games will be developed exclusively, and they will provide immersive experience. As I said, Microsoft has rolled out Mesh for Microsoft Teams in 2022. Mesh is an online platform that uses holograms and mixed reality to create virtual spaces. Teams is one of the 4-5 important team productivity mechanisms and platforms that is available. So if metaverse gets introduced in all these platforms, one can imagine strong professional as well as personal impact. The remote work environments could be more realistic and more emotionally connected than they are today. The technical strides required are in the following areas: smooth and seamless interoperability, VR/AR heads as miniatured as spectacles, not as the kind of space age gadgets that they are today, superior haptic and motion capture technology, human-like artificial intelligence, safety, security, and privacy envelope, limitless content bridging past, present, and the future. Despite the ambition of Facebook to dominate, Meta will have to be developed as a democratized collaborative effort. Samsung has demonstrated its own Meta concept. The company has showcased a more multidimensional take on the metaverse with the reveal of a platform called Metahouse, which allows users to directly experience a total of 18 Samsung products, including the new products for 2022. It has undertaken this demonstration at CES 2022 that was held in Las Vegas this month. Samsung Metahouse World Map is a space decorating experience that Zepeto is supporting for the first time. Users can not only customize the arrangement of furniture and home appliances, but they can also personalize the tone and manner of the space itself. This takes the metaverse experience and its value a step further by sparking users' imagination and encouraging creativity. Samsung is planning to utilize the metaverse to advance diverse marketing strategies, increase brand awareness, and offer its fan a community of expanded space for interaction. Some of the examples which Samsung has highlighted are the following: The photo booth, which allows users to take pictures with Samsung's lifestyle TVs and Galaxy smartphones. The Galaxy House, where users can experience Galaxy devices by taking part in a jumping game, and outfit items, clothing branded with the names and logos of Samsung's lifestyle TVs that users can use to dress up as their avatars. Though projects are still in the making, many of these projects have already brought users closer to products of various categories. Samsung has accumulated the know-how to build its own metaverse. Samsung Metahouse utilizes Naver's Zepeto Metaverse platform, the largest such platform in Asia with more than 250 million users worldwide already. Through close cooperation with Zepeto, Samsung will launch the first of its kind world map that invites users to decorate their own home in the metaverse. Hyundai was also not to be left behind. Hyundai Motor presented the theme of expanding human reach to fulfill the unlimited freedom of mobility at CES 2022. It established that Metaverse is beyond digital and relevant for all industries. 6 aspects of that vision are: vision for robotics in the real world and Metaverse to expand human mobility, extended robotics technologies such as AI and autonomous driving, diverse mobilities such as automobiles and UAM becoming smart access devices to the Metaverse platform, Metamobility utilizing robots as a medium between the real and virtual world, mobility of things concept wherein traditionally inanimate objects will gain mobility using robotics, plug and drive and lift modular platforms as all-in-one solutions for its unlimited mobility of things ecosystem. Hyundai promises to pioneer the new metamobility concept, going beyond physical movements through robotics and the metaverse to effect a change in the real world. As you can see, one company from consumer goods industry or the white goods industry or the consumer electronics industry, whichever way you look at Samsung, has presented its theme in Metaverse. The automobile or the mobility industry has presented its theme in Metaverse again. This concept is likely to expand, extend, and soon overwhelm digital developments in the world. As I said earlier, there should be an opportunity for enhanced higher technology development, but it should not be a challenge in terms of enhancing the digital divide. It should not be a hobby of the select few. It should be universally available for the betterment of everyone in the society. Then only Metaverse will fulfill its promised utopia. Thank you. Hope to see you in the next lecture.